Hey guys, what's going on? For this video, I'll be reviewing Regurgitation's Tales of Necrophilia. Background, listening to cephalotropsy, vaginal insertion of extirpated anomalies. Clusterfuck of an album title. Amazing slam album, one of my favorites for sure. So anyways, this is the only full-length album put out by Regurgitation. If you don't know them, old school brutal death metal from, I want to say Ohio, but I'm not entirely sure on that. This came out in 1999, of course, one of the fucking golden years for brutal death metal. This is a first press, actually, which is kind of hard to come by. Put out through Bladed Records. This was a gift to me from my girlfriend. Fuck. The disc doesn't really stay in, though, because some of those broken in. It was like that when I got it. It's fine, though. It's cool enough just to have a first press. Anyways, so I guess I'll show off the packaging and stuff. This is a really awesome album. There's the album cover, of course, ridiculous. You got a guy fucking a corpse and holding her head. Very cheesy, very like B-movie horror. B-horror movie, excuse me, type of shit going on. They're keeping it fucking sick. It's funny. Picture of the band and the track listing. This is a pretty short album. I believe it's under half an hour. But you've got Out of the Womb, Repulsive Genital Disfigurement, Seat of the Sanguinary, Acid Enema, Fermenting Vaginal Excrements, Menstrual Cycle, like cycle, but with the word kill in it, Cadaveric Impregnation, and Fetal Suffocation. Fetal Suffocation just being a little short, like, clean guitar outro. Yeah, the lyrics and everything are your typical, like, ridiculous brutal death metal shit, but musically, this album is very unique, and it's very, like, the songs are written well, and all the songs stand out from each other, which is really cool. I'll talk about it more. But there's the disc, very Cannibal Corpse, the Bleeding-esque artwork. Got that. Booklet, pretty simple. Picture of the band, stuff, like credits. There were a 4-piece. I don't know if they're still together, but I know they've done some like reunion shows. You know, lyrics and that bleeding kind of artwork. So anyways, stylistically, I guess just like, if you want to like compare this to other bands, I'd say it's similar to like Lividity, Old Dying Fetus, like the first 2 albums. Of course, more raw than Dying Fetus. Maybe Waco Jesus, but not quite as ridiculous. But of course, there's a lot of like, there's a little bit of melody in here. Not like Orgasm has melody, but it's like eerie kind of. It almost sounds like horror movie music kind of melodies. Like if you think of like the theme song from The Shining, like, you know, like eerie little melodies, kind of like that. So anyways, the opening track, Out of the Womb, one of the best tracks on the album in general, really. Some awesome, really memorable melodies. It's a great way to open the album. There's like this beat-down-y kind of riff towards the end. It's kind of like Dying Fetus. There was also like vocal trade-offs like in Dying Fetus or Deeds of Flesh or Lividity, like in a lot of old school brutal death metal bands, between like low vocals and highs. The highs on this album are fan-fucking-tastic. The vocals on this album really stand out to me. The guitar tone is great as well. Super fucking just chunky and scooped. Very sharp guitar tone. The bass isn't super audible, but you know, it's still there. The drums are like really clicky double bass, which I don't mind at all. Of course, since it's brutal death metal, you're kind of gonna want clicky double bass. Really shitty snare. Not as pingy as like some like 2000 slam stuff, but pretty shitty snare in a good way. Anyways, Repulsive Genital Disfigurement has a really catchy kind of slammy riff. There's not really like slams on here, but there's some like of those chuggy, I guess you could call them slams, but for their time they're slams. By today's standards, it's mostly just a chuggy riff, but still awesome. Seat of the Sanguinary has an awesome, really eerie intro. Acid Enema, one of the best songs on the album. There's just one like tapping part towards the end of the song where there's a super long like high vocal over it, and it just sounds fucking really pissed. This album is really like fucking aggressive, like obviously because it's brutal death metal, but like there's emotion put into this album. When you listen to it, you could tell like it's just really like over the edge, really just in your face and ferocious. It's especially with the vocals. It's just super aggressive, and I love it. Fermenting Vaginal Excrements, not my favorite song on the track, but it's pretty good. Same with Menstrual Cycle. Cadaveric Impregnation, the last real song on here, is definitely my favorite. Just some really awesome, like, dissonant kind of riffs. A lot of, like, just really catchy vocal patterns. Another catchy beatdown riff at the end of the song, similar to in Out of the Womb. I'd say the guitar riffs on here, they're not as technical as something like Disgorge or maybe even Gorgasm. It's a little more like, there's some tremolo picked ones, there's some like, it's like Old Dying Fetus, except without like the sweeping and stuff with the guitars. There is some lead work on here though. I want to say on either Menstrual Cycle or Fermenting Vaginal Excrements, there's a really good like guitar solo. But anyways, there's some really good fucking like chuggy, kind of slammy like groove riffs on here. There's like I said, tremolo picked riffs. There's some slightly more technical riffs, but it's not too technical where you won't know what's going on. The songs in here are pretty easy to follow. But this is a super underrated album though. Like in my opinion, these guys should be up there with like Devourment and Disgorge and fucking all the other like Deeds of Flesh, like all the big fucking brutal death metal bands, or like old school ones at least. These guys should be up there. This is an underrated album. In my opinion, it's a masterpiece. I mean, and it's nice and short too, but it's short, but there's a lot of substance to it. It's not short because it's super, like, repetitive. It's not really that repetitive, honestly. All the songs stick out, and you could feel, like, the difference between each song on here. But it's short and sweet in a way. Like, I don't know. It's a full-length album, but there's only 7 real songs on here. Feel Suffocation is like I already said, like a clean, kind of eerie little outro. It doesn't add that much to the album, but it's still cool. But this is just like super old school brutal death metal. It's one of my favorite brutal death metal albums in general, really. They did a reissue on Hell's Headbangers, I believe, on both vinyl. I'm pretty sure the vinyl's sold out though, but you can probably find it on Discogs, CD, and even cassette, I believe, recently. Yeah, this album is just fucking awesome. If you want a really aggressive but really catchy brutal death metal album, like, okay, think like a more horror movie inspired Dying Fetus, like the first Dying Fetus album and the demos, maybe Killing on Adrenaline. Or if you like the kind of the grindiness of like Leviticity or Waco Jesus, like it has that kind of nastiness to it, obviously with the artwork too. Like I said, there's definitely a lot of horror inspiration in here, more than your typical like death metal album. Like by that I mean like this album like reminds you of like cheesy horror movies when you listen to it, when you hear those eerie like creepy melodies and stuff. Kind of like they're almost like Slayer-y, but a little bit less reliant on like fucking like a not triads, what the fucking called? I don't know shit about music theory. Tritones, excuse me. They're not super reliant on that, but there's those kind of eerie riffs, you know. But honestly, I would give this like a man. I don't know if I want to give it a 10 out of 10, but it's pretty fucking good. Maybe like a 9.5, 9.8 out of 10. I feel like what keeps this from being perfect is the production could be a little thin at times, but that's not really that much of a problem anyways. But if you're listening to this with headphones, it's not quite as satisfying to listen to as with like if you listen to this through a stereo, like a good stereo, it sounds fucking awesome. But through like the wrong pair of headphones, it could sound really like thin. But that's not that much of a problem. This is a really old album, and a lot of old brutal death metals like that. But yeah, really sharp, like razor sharp production as far as like how like high and like I don't know, bright sounding it is production wise. But yeah, atmosphere on here though is just top tier. It's so like you just feel the emotions, like you feel like kind of not scared, but like you just get this eerie feeling when you listen to this album. It's just so fucking great. But yeah, I don't know, it's just so good. Like the guitar tone when they do those chuggy riffs, it sounds like just like a fucking musical equivalent of like a knife just gouging into your ears. It's just so fucking good, and I highly recommend this if you've not listened to it, because even if you don't like, if you don't like brutal death metal that's like stupid, like what we're listening to, that's like just really simple, and all the songs sound the same, you'll enjoy this because there's a lot of substance to this. Besides the lyrics, but who the fuck cares? I mean, I wouldn't want to change the lyrics on here because it's brutal death metal. You want ridiculous gore lyrics, really juvenile stuff. But yeah, 9.8 out of 10. Regurgitation, Tales of Necrophilia. Amazing album. So yeah, I believe everything else they put out. They put out a demo, which is pretty good, and I believe they put out they were going to put out an album after it was called like Clitoridectomy or something like that, but I think it got released as like an EP or something. I've listened to a little bit of that. It's pretty good, but not as good as Tales of Necrophilia. Definitely the release you want to listen to from them. So yeah, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.